Hey guys, my name is Lauren Ekstrom, and as we head into the new year, it's important to take a moment and take a big step back. Oftentimes in the new year, we hear people saying things like, new year, new you, and we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to achieve certain New Year's resolutions, or oftentimes in the yoga and meditation community, to achieve some semblance of what we consider as the perfect balance. And the truth is, we're not going to be perfect. We're not going to practice enough yoga or enough meditation to practice ourselves out of being human. We're going to make mistakes along the way. We're going to fall out of balance. We're going to fall out of center. And it's in those moments that we need to learn how to hold ourselves kindly and compassionately. Oftentimes in the yoga and the meditation world, I see students and teachers alike leaving with this feeling as if they should be able to have some perfect execution of their intentions in their life. But we all know that it's from making mistakes, from faltering, that we actually grow and transform the most. So today I'd love to talk a little bit about what we can do in those moments when we feel like we're not in connection with our most authentic self, or we move in a way that isn't in alignment with our core values or the intentions that we've set. A lot of times we have this preconceived notion of achieving perfect balance. Maybe that has to do with the way we eat, how often we practice, other aspects to intention setting in the new year. As if one day we're going to achieve center. Like it's this place we're going to arrive one day and never falter from. But we're always in relationship to center. It's a balance. And I love that the word balance actually comes from the root word meaning to dance. And like life, it's a dance. And we learn this first and foremost through our yoga asana practice, through the poses and the postures themselves on our mat. Being on our mat in any form of yoga practice, hatha yoga, vinyasa flow, iyengar, restorative, power yoga, whatever your practice is, you start to have an embodied understanding of what it feels like to be in alignment. And when you practice in alignment, you walk away feeling energized, connected, like you have stamina from your practice that's going to carry you through the rest of your day or into your evening. And similarly, when you're not in alignment, you know how that feels in your body. It doesn't feel good. Maybe if you practice out of alignment, you walk away from your practice and something feels off. So there's this clear understanding that when you're living in alignment, there's integrity. There's an intention that's being fulfilled that is both supportive and energizing. And so when you're off your mat and you're in your life and you fall out of center, you have this understanding that it doesn't feel good to speak without integrity. It doesn't feel good to fall out of connection with your intentions or your core values. It doesn't feel good to be disconnected from your most authentic self. And yoga philosophy, through the Yoga Sutras, we're introduced to a practice that's called Pratipaksha Bhavana. And Pratipaksha Bhavana teaches us that when we have a thought, let's say such as, I'm not good enough, that in that moment, we cultivate its opposite. We recognize that we've had the thought, I'm not good enough. And we hold ourselves kindly and compassionately. And in that moment, we're empowered to take a look at all the ways that we actually are good enough. The ways that we are showing up in our practice, the ways that we are showing up in the world. And really, Pratipaksha Bhavana was one of the first forms of positive thinking. It's not a form of spiritual bypass. It's not to say that the thought didn't happen or the negative event didn't occur, but to hold whatever it is we become aware of that is outside of our core values, outside of our authentic self or intentions, and in that moment to bring ourselves back on purpose, compassionately, and with clear intention. And so this year, as you step into whatever your intentions might be, can you hold yourself in this way with this understanding that you're going to falter And in those moments, they're not failures, they're incredible opportunities. One of the ways that we can do that, in addition to Pratipaksha Bhavana, is by taking what we might call a self-compassion break. Dr. Kristen Neff, who introduced many of the practices of self-compassion, teaches us that in those moments we can literally pause in our day and put a hand over our hearts and send ourselves phrases of support and kindness. And the science now shows that people who practice self-compassion inwardly actually bounce back from setbacks much faster. They have higher resiliency, and people who are self-compassionate are even willing to take bigger risks in life because they know that if something doesn't go right, they have a safe place inside of them where it's actually okay to make mistakes, that they're learning opportunities and chances to do better next time. So today, let's take a moment and let's practice this together. If you're somewhere where it's safe and okay to close your eyes, find a comfortable seat, and for a moment, allow your eyes to close. And sense, if you could, soften your body. And begin to turn your attention to your breath. And taking one hand and placing it over your heart. And for a moment, maybe you feel your breath into this hand. The subtle or the obvious beating of your heart into this hand. And internally and silently, saying to yourself, I hold myself kindly and compassionately. Whatever challenges arise, these too are part of the practice. It's okay to make mistakes. From my mistakes, I learn and I grow. And taking a few moments here to feel those phrases, how it is for you to hold yourself in this way. To know that you can always come back to your authentic self, to your core values, and that your life too is a practice, not a perfect. And begin to deepen your breath. Allow your hand to float away from your heart. And in your own time, slowly reopen your eyes. And as you move back out into your day, and as you move back out into this year, you can create phrases that work for you. That when you find yourself feeling challenged, can you practice Pratipaksha Bhavana? Can you practice self-compassion? That in those moments of challenge, you pause as if to place a hand over your own heart and know that you can come back again. That you take 100% responsibility for your life, for your actions, for your words, and that you always have this place to return to. Your yoga mat, from where you learn alignment in your body. Your life, from where you learn alignment by living your core values. And in the space of your thoughts, where self-compassion and Pratipaksha Bhavana can be there to support you. And if this is of deeper interest to you, I just released a new 10-day program of yoga practices and meditations called Journey to Yoga. It's 10 days of 45-minute practices connected to your core values to help us deepen our connection, both on and off of our mat, to our true self. It's an honor always sharing these practices with you, and I look forward to hearing how this year is going. Please share. Let me know what you do when you fall out of your center, when you've lost touch with who you most want to be in the world. How do you take care of yourself? How do you cultivate a state of inner friendliness? What are some of the strategies that you put into play? And together as a community, we can continue to support each other, reminding each other that these mistakes are actually an important part of the journey. Wishing you a beautiful 2018. May your practice come with you into everything you're thinking, saying, and doing. Namaste.